We are on fire. We are fiery New Yorkers who are here to keep the flame burning for our sister Tish James. At precisely 11 a.m. tomorrow morning, our duly elected Attorney General, Tish James, will walk into a courtroom not to pursue justice as she has countless times on behalf of our great state, but to be subjected to a gross injustice, the culmination of one man's revenge tour. And that man is Donald Trump. And he came to our city, and Tish James brought him to justice, and now he is destroying our system of justice to take her down. But that will not happen, my friends, because she, above all, is a New Yorker. She has the heart of a lioness. She is tough, and she will withstand. When we gather here in solidarity, our elected leaders, labor leaders, community activists, all of you who care deeply about protecting what we care so much about in this country, and that is our democracy and our system of justice. So tonight it is under attack. But we stand tonight in solidarity with Tish James. And in so doing, we stand in solidarity with democracy, because we will not let it slip away under our watch. Not now, not ever. Because my question is this: if they can do this to an attorney general of a state like New York, heaven help the rest of us, because they can come after anyone. And they're coming after people. They're coming after people on Canal Street just hours ago. They're coming after people who came here in search of a better life. People are part of our own family. It has to stop. But also, what kind of country do we want to live in? A country where the president can jail his political opponents? A country where, yes, apparently there are people above the law? Or a government is used as a weapon against adversaries? Well, I just was sending messages to Tish James and sending her a lot of love tonight. And all of us will send that as well. But in her words, not only will she not bow or break, neither will New York not bow, and we will not break. We stand together with Tish James. Let's bring it home, everybody. We are there for our sister, Tish James. Let me bring up another leader of this community, someone who's fighting every single day in Washington, D.C. for us, someone who's standing up and saying no and hell no. We will not break, we will not bend. And that man is representative of this area, our Congressman Dan Goldman.
Thank you very much, Governor Hochul, and you said it so right. This is not just an attack on Tish James, but it is. This is not just an attack on New York, and it is. This is an attack on every single one of us here tonight and around this country. Because Donald Trump directed his Department of Justice to file this baseless, bogus, meritless, bullshit indictment. And you don't have to guess that because he tweeted it. So we know exactly where this is coming from. It is not an allegation. It is not in dispute. The actual prosecutor looking at this case said, no, there's not enough evidence to charge it. Donald Trump fired him. He then put in his own ambulance-chasing lawyer to be a prosecutor, who then found nobody else who could go to the grand jury. That's how bad this case is. But it doesn't matter in Donald Trump's world, because in Donald Trump's world, you can demolish the East Wing and take $300 million from your friends and build a ballroom. You can You can decide that if someone invests enough money in your crypto company, you'll give them a pardon. You can decide that I'm going to use this government to get my enemies. Now, Tish James has stood up for New York for decades, and as Attorney General for 7 years. And she has gone in to courtrooms all around this state, standing up for everyone here and all of us around the state. And tomorrow she is going into a courtroom. But she's once again standing up for us. She is standing up for New Yorkers. Because if Tish James bows, if Tish James bends with this political prosecution, then we're all at risk. We're all in jeopardy of having Donald Trump come after us. There is no Department of Justice. It just becomes the Department of Revenge. And because we have our fearless leader, Tish James, we know that she's going to stand up for all of us again. And we are lucky, in some respects, that he came after her, because that was a bad move. That is the wrong person. And so we are all here tonight proudly standing up and saying, we stand with Tish James. And Mr. President, you better get your hands off Tish James. Thank you. Now I am honored to be able to introduce my neighbor to the north, one of the best leaders that this city has, Congressman Adriano Espaillat.
Good evening, New York.
Good evening.
I bring you greetings from Washington Heights, from Harlem, from East Harlem and the Bronx. I come all the way down to the southern tip of the island of Manhattan, in support of a woman that has stood tall for all of us. Stood tall in all the neighborhoods of the 5 boroughs of this great city and across the state of New York, defending the rights of the least among us, protecting the rights of women, ensuring that children were protected, that seniors were not taken advantage of. Someone that has spent her whole life, and I knew her when she was just a young attorney, and I was a member of the Black Hispanic Caucus in Albany. And she worked for us as an attorney there. And she's been working all her life to lift those that are disadvantaged and that perhaps feel that they have no voice or that they cannot walk into a courtroom and get justice. So tonight is about her, but it's about a bunch of other things too. Don't be mistaken. This is also about injustice in America. This is also about sending out a chilling effect so you all could be paralyzed at home and don't move. This is ultimately also about setting out fear out there. And we should all know that the only thing to fear is fear itself. So this is about a woman that we all as New Yorkers got to stand next to, today, tomorrow, and moving forward. When we do that, we stand for yourselves. You stand for your families. You stand for your neighborhood. You stand for your borough. You stand for your city. You stand for your nation. And so let's all come together for justice. Justice for Tish James. Justicia para Tish James. La fiscal general nuestra, que tiene toda una vida defendiendo los más necesitados en todos los condados de esta ciudad y a través del Estado. Y estamos aquí para apoyarla en contra de una injusticia que trata de imponer el miedo Y lo único que le tenemos que tener miedo es al miedo. Once fear sets in, it's over. We will not back down. We will not be fearful. We will continue to move forward, and we will stand with Tish James.
Up next, New York City Public Advocate Jumaane Williams.
Hands off, Tish James, hands off. 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 Peace and blessings, love and light to you all. First of all, I want to thank the government for bringing us together and showing leadership in a moment where we need leadership. Thank you so much for that. I want to make sure that the stage is really set about what's happening right now. You have a man, by the way, who's a convicted felon, 34 felonies. And by the way, Tish James whooped his behind, and that's what that man, as was mentioned, is now trying to demolish the White House. He is literally trying to put his face on money. He has told people he wants to practice military drills in cities across the country. He has fired people who will not try to jail his enemies. I say that to say if it appears he's picked up How to Be a Dictator for Dummies. Because if you picked up that book, he is doing everything that you can do to show that he is a dictator wannabe and that we have an authoritarian in the White House. I will say he seems to have a particular disdain for black women. But I want to say, like I said before, you chose the right one this time, baby. You chose the right one. Because, one, I always want to thank the over 95% of black women who voted against this. And the almost 80% of black men who voted against this. I say that because I know the black women were tired because they've saved this country more than one time. They put a lot of energy and they were tired. But on the last No Kings rally, I saw more black women than I ever had seen, and that's actually thanks to the simple-minded Donald Trump, who came after someone that he shouldn't have gone after. But black women are back on the field now, and only good things happen when black women are on the field. But I heard my colleague mention fear, and I also want to mention that it is important that we keep pushing forward. I sometimes are fearful, but I try to match that fear with courage. And so I want you, those who are even feeling afraid, that we have to have courage in this moment. And we have to make sure that someone like Tish James is not taken away the way we've seen happen in history. Because we are in history, this is not an exaggeration, this is not hyperbole, what this president wants to do to this country. Tish James beat his butt. Tish James stands up for those whose voices aren't being heard. Tish James stands up for justice, and that is the antithesis of what Donald Trump is. He made it very, very clear that he wants to go after his enemies. He made it very, very clear that he's going to find somebody who does that, irrespective of whether it is the right thing to do. So I came tonight to stand with everyone here at the behest of the governor to let Donald Trump know you will have to go through all of us to get to Tish James and get to this city. I want you to be clear about that. New York City is ready, and we understand what's at risk. The future for my daughters are at risk, 2 black women as well. So when Tish James is in that courtroom tomorrow, I wanted to hear the voices of all of us. We are standing with you. You stood up for us. We are going to stand up for you. Donald Trump will lose again. It's going to be some tough times, so I want you to stay with us through the battle. But he will not win. And I will say he does represent a part of America that is real. When people say this is not America, who we are, they're not telling the truth. It is who we are. But also who we are is standing right here. the better America, who has always said, America, I'm going to make you stand up to say and be who you said you were. And I'm proud to be a part of that America with you. And I'm proud that Tish James is a part of that America. That is the America that is going to win regardless of the tyrant in the White House, because love and unity will win, I guarantee you, if we stand strong. Hands off Tish James, hands off New York City. Peace and blessing, love and light.
Please welcome to the podium New York State Assembly member Zoran Mamdani.
I want to first thank Governor Hochul for bringing us all here together today, because what the governor has shown time and again is that an attack on anyone in this city is an attack on the entirety of this city. And what we show here in this coalition is that Tish James is being attacked because she had the audacity to hold Donald Trump to the same laws that each and every New Yorker should be held to. We gather here under a long shadow that this president has cast. A shadow of corruption, a shadow of self-enrichment, a shadow of anti-immigrant violence, reckoning with it just across the street from 26 Federal Plaza, and a shadow of political persecution and repression. And this shadow has now affected one of the greatest champions of this state, our Attorney General, Tish James. We know that Donald Trump is coming after her because she did the right thing. She held him to account. She showed that no man and no wannabe king is above that same law. And yet we know that in this moment, it portends danger, not just for this city or this state, but also for this country at large. A danger where the man with the most power is using it to intimidate his opponents, to shirk accountability. And as much as we have come to expect this from a president like Donald Trump, we cannot normalize it. We cannot justify it. We have to call it what it is. This is an authoritarian administration. And we, the people, will not stand for it. And so we say, hands off, hands off, hands off, hands off. Trump has put a target on Tish's back. But little does he know that every single one of us on this stage and in this crowd has Tish James's back. We will stand up for her because of the fact that she has stood up for every single one of us time and time again. Time and time again. Because the shadow that he casts, whether it's of persecution, of corruption, of violence, it is also a shadow of weakness. A shadow that showcases his recognition of the fact that he has betrayed Americans on the single promise he made most prominently to them, to tackle the cost of living. All that he has delivered is the persecution of political enemies, is an attempt to create the largest deportation force in American history. And people are tired of that cruelty. They are tired of that greed. They are tired of that impunity. And what they are ready for is an attorney general that has held this one man to account. And so we stand here together to support Tish, to say, as the public advocate said, when she goes into that courtroom tomorrow, she knows that she is not alone. She knows that she is in fact a symbol of what so many Americans believe in this country, which is that it is time to hold every person in this country to account to the same laws. It is time to live up to the ideals of a democracy. And it is time to have the audacity to believe in the ideals that make so many of us proud to be Americans. And so when we reject Donald Trump's vision, one of cruelty, one of punishment, one of smallness, and one of betrayal, we do so with our own vision of solidarity, of love, of belief, and when it comes to Tish James, of having her back. So we say, hands off, Tish James. Hands off, Tish James. Hands off, Tish James. We are together saying that we have our Attorney General's back, and we will be together having her back throughout this entire process, because we know she will emerge out of it the same as she came into it, an advocate for the people of the city, of the state, and the people of this country, and she will continue in that fight, and we will continue alongside her. Thank you, Governor Hochul, for having us.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the podium Manhattan Borough President Mark Levine.
Thank you, thank you. Hands off Tish, hands off Tish, hands off Tish, hands off Tish. Look at this unity across the spectrum. We are here for the best Attorney General in America. If you love Tish James, make some noise. Thank you, Governor Hochul, for bringing us here together and for standing strong for this state in the face of the relentless attacks from the wannabe dictator in the White House. Give it up for Governor Kathy Hochul. Oh, yeah. Kathy. 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 I need this part of the cheering section with me at every event. You guys are awesome. I'm going to tell you how authoritarians stay in power. And no public advocate, I did not read it in Dictators for Dummies. Authoritarians stay in power when decent people are scared to speak up, when decent people are scared to act, when decent people are scared to fight. Tish James is not afraid. She has never backed down from a fight, and she knew when she pursued her case against Donald Trump for massive corporate fraud in New York that she would surely face his petty vengeance. But she moved forward following the law, following the facts, following the Constitution, because she believes in justice, and Tish James has never backed down from a bully in her entire life. Applaud for Tish James. Come on, guys. And sure enough, Donald Trump is going after her with a case that is so bogus that the U.S. Attorney in Virginia, appointed by Trump, resigned instead of pursuing that case. This is how bogus this legal attack on our Attorney General is. I'm going to tell you that Donald Trump is miscalculated, because we support Tish James with all our heart today, and the moment she walks into that courtroom, we're going to support her even more. And we back her up with every fiber of our being today. And when she walks into that courtroom, we're going to back her up even more. And we love Tish James today, and we're going to love her even more tomorrow. And she will not back down, and we will not back down. Tish James will win this fight. She will win this case. We will save America. We'll not stop showing up and protesting and marching and speaking out until we do. Let's win this for Tish James. Hands off Tish. Hands off Tish. Hands off Tish. Hands off Tish. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome.
I was going to announce him.
Oh.
Will you please join me in welcoming my soon-to-be successor, the next president of the Borough of Manhattan, Brad Hoylman-Siegel.
Wow, thank you, sir. Now, I need him at rallies everywhere I go. State Senator Brad Hoylman-Siegel, represent the west side of Manhattan. Any West Siders here? Thank you. You know, this is quite significant that we have the first woman governor who is bringing us together to defend the first woman attorney general of the state of New York, Tish James. Let's give it up for Governor Hochul and Tish James. And we know that Tish James goes after white-collar criminals, right? And we know that there is a white-collar criminal sitting in the White House today, right? Yes. And there are about, 464 million reasons why Donald Trump dislikes Tish James. And remember that was the jury verdict, $464 million that the jury decided Donald Trump owed the taxpayers of New York. Well, we say today, we stand behind Tish James, or am I right about that? This indictment is baseless. The prosecutors are spinning. The case will fall apart. But until then, we need to let Tish James, for all of those reasons that she's had our back as New Yorkers, that we have her back as New Yorkers. So when I say hands off, you say Tish James. Hands off. Tish James. Hands off. Tish James. Hands off. Tish James. All right, thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, before our next speaker, we want to thank our fantastic labor unions here. PSC, UFT, 32BJ, 1199, and HTC. And now please welcome to the podium, New York State Assembly member Linda Rosenthal.
Hello, everyone. I am so glad to be here with all of you. I represent the Upper West Side, parts of Hell's Kitchen. And first thing I want to do is thank our governor for defending the principles of democracy and for everything she has done to stand up for New Yorkers during this perilous moment in history. Thank you, Governor Hochul. So we're here tonight to send a message to the fascists currently demolishing the White House and the very foundations of our country. We're not scared of you, and we will fight your baseless, politically motivated attack against our beloved Attorney General every step of the way. For the last 6-7 years, Tish has been New York State's legal conscience. When Donald Trump greatly inflated the worth of his real estate empire, Tish bravely stood up and held him and his Nepo babies accountable for their lies and corruption. When Donald Trump decided that the NIH's grants for medical and scientific research were too woke to deserve funding, Tish James said, "Not on my watch." She went to court and she restored $4.5 million that Trump had cut. When Donald Trump fired thousands of the federal government's hard-working public servants, Tish stood on their side and went to court leading her fellow attorneys generals. What happened? She won, and they were ordered to be reinstated. A judge ruled they were illegally fired and prohibited more employees from being fired by the fascist government. When Donald Trump tried to meddle in the 2020 election by delaying the process of mail-in ballots, Tish stood up and said, "Not on my watch." And that is why Donald Trump hates her, because when push comes to shove, Tish has more integrity in her pinky than Donald Trump has in his entire body. Tish is loyal to the Constitution. Donald Trump is loyal to himself and his riches. So, New York, Tish James has had our back on every turn, and it is our chance to fight the bully in chief by standing up for one of the best attorneys general this state has ever had. As MAGA, including the 7 Republican Congress members from New York State, work to dismantle environmental protection, restrict access to education, rip away our health care, silence free speech, rob women of their bodily autonomy, eliminate diversity programs, spread hatred for our LGBTQ community. This moment calls for all of us to stand up, to stand together for our democracy, to defend the soul of our country, and to tell Donald Trump, "You don't own us, we're not afraid of you," and our passion is inspired and embodied by our wonderful Attorney General, who is not afraid. We say, hell no, hands off Tish. Say it, hands off Tish. Hands off Tish. Hands off Tish. Hands off Tish. We are with her in Virginia. We are with her in New York State. We are with her wherever the truth leads her, and she will prevail. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the podium Westchester County Executive Ken Jenkins.
All right, hands off. Hands off. Yo, you may be wondering why the county executive from Westchester County is down here to support our great Attorney General, Tish James. But I will tell you, first, between all my colleagues in government, Governor Hochul's leadership in making sure we got down here, but more importantly, I was the guy when Tish James brought all those Democratic attorney generals up to Westchester County. I'm the one that introduced her as our badass Attorney General, Tish James. And I will tell you that I know that all of us standing together, Congressman Espaillat said it, Governor Hochul said it earlier, all of us are saying the same thing. This is about trying to put fear in all of us. If we can go and look at our Attorney General being attacked, who could stand up to a tyrant like the president? So we know that we all need to stand together and first say, hands off, hands off. And she needs to know, no matter where she is, that we always have Tish James back. We always have her standing up for us, and that's why we're all here together. Thank you so much. Hands off.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Assemblymember Joanne Simon.
Thank you. I'm Assemblymember Joanne Simon, and I am here to support my sister, Tish James. Tish has been by my side, at my back, and I've been at hers for over 20 years. I know this woman, and I know that Donald Trump does not know Tish James. He has taken on the wrong woman. And the reality is, this is a bogus case. We know it, he knows it, and he thinks that this is a government, not of the people, by the people, and for the people, but of, by, and for himself. And we are here to show him that ain't true. It ain't right, and it ain't true, and we will be here and make sure that we are with her when she goes to court tomorrow, and that we will always have Tish's back. And so I am just joining the chorus here to say to everyone, hands off Tish James. We got her back. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Executive Vice President of 1199 SEIU, Kim Gooden.
Hello. Whoa. 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 Ain't no use in looking down when the union is around. Ain't no use in looking down. DC is full of clowns. Hey, America, can you hear? There is no fear. There is no fear. And we're still here. Still fighting for health care. Standing tall and looking good. We all want to be in Hollywood. There's no kings in America. All right, let me get here why I'm here. That was on Saturday. We had a good time. All right, so anyway, my name is Kim Gooden, and I'm the Vice President of 1199. And I'm here on behalf of the 450,000 healthcare workers of our union to say we stand with Tish. All right? We know Tish James as one of our most courageous, fearless, and compassionate leaders. to ever serve the people of New York. And as our Attorney General, she has been the people. She's the people's lawyer. She stands up for us, fights for us every single day, whether it's going to abusive landlords like Donald Trump, protecting against sexual predators like Donald Trump. Where's the files? All right, let me behave. Let's get her on there so she can get the 218. Let me stop. Let me stick this. I'll get in trouble. Whether it's going after sexual predators like Donald Trump, defending taxpayers against fraudulent charities like Donald Trump has, Tish James has always been on the side of justice. This is why she is so hated and feared by the Trump administration. She is incorruptible. She doesn't bow down to tyrants, and she prosecutes them. She protects us. She prosecutes them. Trump made a terrible mistake by going after Tish, because she doesn't flinch. Tish doesn't flinch in the face of intimidation, and neither will we in the face of Trump's absurd political vendetta against her. As nursing home workers, hospital workers, home care workers, and pharmacy workers, we know what it is to fight for dignity. And we see the same fight in Tish James. Let me hear you say, when I say stand, you say Tish James. We stand. Tish James. We stand. Tish James. We stand with. Tish James. We stand with. Tish James. We stand with. Tish James. Whoa. 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 Whoa.
Thank you.
Hey, Trump, can you hear? There is no fear. Let me get out of here. All right, thank you guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the podium New York City Council member Carmen De La Rosa.
Thank you so much. We want to thank Governor Hochul for calling us and convening us here tonight. And we are sending love and light to our sister, Tish James, someone who I've had the honor of knowing for over a decade. And we know that Tish is tough, but even in the toughest moments, people need to know that we stand with them. Trump's cruel policies and weaponization of the military do not make us safer. In fact, they put our lives at risk every single day. Instead of providing much-needed funding to our state, Trump is not only weaponizing the military against his political enemies and against the people, like we saw just a few blocks from here on Canal Street 2 nights ago. He's using your taxpayer dollars to boost ICE and to lock us up, and without even having committed a crime, he is targeting people for who they are, for what they say, and for what they stand for. Attorney General James is a woman of integrity, and she is his latest political target. He's targeting Tish, an accomplished Black woman and a patriot in this country, for doing her job and holding him accountable for his criminal acts and an attempt to distract us from who the true villain in this story is. But New Yorkers aren't dumb. We know exactly who the villain is. He's weaponizing the FBI to turn eyes away from his own mess. He's wasting taxpayer dollars to go after people who are doing the real work. So New Yorkers, we're sending a message loud and clear. Attorney General James is a decorated public servant. She has served with integrity her entire life. So we're gonna remind those people who stand with Trump who our Tish is. She's a public defender. She was a public defender with the Legal Aid Society and a proud union member. She's the 4th public advocate of our city. She was a council member for the 35th district, and now she is our first Black woman attorney general of this great state. Tish is also a woman of faith, an unshakable faith. I just saw Tish 1 week ago in Washington Heights when she said the words, "I am fearless," and her voice did not tremble. She is fearless because she understands what her role is as the Attorney General of this state, to stand up for those who need her protection the most. So I'm here tonight to say that to get to Tish, you will have to go through New York, and you will have to go through each and every one of us. We stand with Tish tonight, and we will continue to stand with her. I also want to remind that man in the White House that he is the first American president to be convicted on federal charges, and that he is a criminal indicted across several states. He has falsified business records, and he is the true snake and the true liar. He has pardoned hundreds of people who invaded and defaced the federal government offices on January 6th, and one of which he is now threatening another member of Congress, Hakeem Jeffries. He refuses to release the Epstein files, probably because he's in them, going as far as to refuse to swear in a duly elected member of Congress to get his way, Donald Trump. We are not proud to call you a New Yorker, but we are proud to call you what you are, a schemer and a liar. And we will stand with Tish James, and the law that Tish James upholds and the justice that she believes in will vindicate our Attorney General. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the podium New York State Assembly member Micah Lasher.
It's great to see everyone. Hands off. Hands off. This is the latest stage in the fascist takeover of our country, and it is a very old playbook. The Trump administration and his sycophants in Congress, they start with the most vulnerable among us, people who are new to this country, people who depend on government programs, trans kids, making them political punching bags. They then move onto the institutions that we depend on, that make our country what it is, going after federal workers and universities, our journalists, or even our entertainers. And then they come for the people who are willing to stand up to the autocrats. And that is what Donald Trump is doing to Tish James. But we here in New York, we have a different message, because we know that the way the fascists win has always been to divide and to conquer. And I'm very grateful to Governor Hochul for bringing us together tonight, to all of my colleagues in government and in labor, and the activists who are here, because we are here to say we in New York will not be divided, and we will not be conquered. Tish James will prevail, New York will prevail, and ultimately our democracy will as well. Thank you very much.